you.
You bet.
There's new polling in some crucial battleground states favoring Hillary Clinton. Pardon me, according to a CBS poll, Clinton is beating Donald Trump 49 to 37% in her running mate's home state of Virginia. Meantime, out west, Clinton's only leading Trump by 2 points in Nevada, and in Arizona, Trump leads 44 to 42%, but Arizona is traditionally a Republican state. Does this mean the electoral map is shifting? John Hart is editor-in-chief for Opportunity Lives. Eric Schiffer is a Washington Times contributor. Eric, when you look at the map as it exists today, given some of these numbers, how would you assess Donald Trump's chances in those battleground states?
Well, I don't think it looks good. I think what's happened is you have a lot of people now who have really kind of made up their mind to a certain extent on several things. I think number one is this someone who obviously has the temperament, the impulse control to be in charge of the presidency? And also, is he really prepared? And I think one of the things they're looking at is really, does he have the knowledge? And I don't think it's an ability to learn, because I don't think you have to have a Mensa IQ to be president. But I think what's happened is there's a level of intellectual laziness that is perceived to be the situation here. And I think Donald Trump had planned on more of a macro approach where he didn't have to get in the details, and I think that is now becoming a murderous thing for him in the polls.
Well, who, John, do you blame for that?
Well, Donald Trump. He's clearly to blame for his own challenges here, and the Trump campaign has a candidate problem much more than they have a staff problem. But I think Eric made a couple of key points, and I think the intellectual laziness is a big problem for Trump. What he tried to do today was a soft reset for his campaign. He wanted to talk about the economy and link Hillary Clinton to the failed policies of the past. And that's a sound strategy, but he needs more than a soft reset. He needs a hard reset. He needs to go back and acknowledge the whole litany of things he said that are flat out wrong, offensive, and give a mea culpa speech and make that the hard reset. And then he might have a chance of winning the support of not just independents, but his own party. Remember, a key finding in that Virginia poll showed that only 79% of Republicans support Trump. And that's an insurmountable problem for him if he doesn't shore up his own base as he faces these key battleground tests.
Eric, what do you think about that? I mean, sometimes voters don't have particularly long memories. Does Donald Trump really need to do that mea culpa speech that John's talking about?
Well, John, again, I think he brings up a good point. The challenge is Donald Trump's brand is not about vulnerability. It's about power. It's about strength. And so to the extent that he begins to be too vulnerable, to begin to apologize for all of these things, it really goes against brand. It will turn off some of the people that like him because of the macho, the powerful side, the strong leader. I think his challenge is really a difficult one, especially when you look at so many generals who have said he's just not fit, where he's made comments about whether, why are we not using nuclear weapons? And these are things that I think are beginning to become really issues that are become one of a risk management issue for people, not even an ideology thing. This is about, can I protect my family? Can I stay safe? Is life going to end? And I think that's the biggest challenge overall. And frankly, I don't even think that's fully baked into the numbers yet.
Well, Monmouth University is just out with a new poll talking about numbers. Obviously, from this month, Donald Trump stands at 37%, Hillary Clinton at 50%. She is up by 13 points in this Monmouth University poll. Now, obviously, it's a nationwide number, and what really matters, John, is the battleground states. But the signs there for the Trump campaign aren't looking so good right now.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You know, a way to think about this is, we're in the middle of the Olympics. So the system is not rigged, but think of the race as a 100-meter dash. The Democrats only have to run 90, and Republicans have to run 100. So they start with a built-in advantage in the Electoral College. In other words, Democrats are more popular in the big states, have more electoral votes than the red states do. So Trump has to overperform and do extremely well in these so-called contested states. And as we've just discussed, he's behind in almost all of them. And that's the crux of his challenge, is that he can't afford to do anything but run a flawless race here.
Yeah, Eric, the economy is not exactly running on all cylinders. I mean, we did get a good jobs number last week, but it's been, you know, GDP growth has been pretty anemic throughout the Obama presidency. Can Donald Trump continue to tie Hillary Clinton to that, as he did in that economic speech today, and perhaps, you know, reset, drum up enough interest in his campaign that he can whittle away at this lead that we were just talking about that she holds?
Well, look, I think it's a smart move. It's really one of the only areas that I think will make an actual difference, because it's one of the biggest areas that people and voters really care about. The challenge with that is we saw this jobs report that just came out, and it was phenomenal. I mean, this has been 8 years of really an extended, you know, economy that came off of just a tremendous crushing in 2009. So I think a lot of people, especially when you look at the unemployment numbers, the numbers that are being published by the government, that I think most people believe, they're fairly low. So again, he's working again against the forces. Now, that's not to say that many Trump voters that may not have the education are still not suffering. And frankly, I feel for these voters, because it's almost like they bought a horse and the horse's owner didn't fully disclose all of the things, maybe some of the bad things. And so that horse may not probably win. But here's the thing. The issues that matter to Trump voters are going to live on, irrespective of Donald Trump wins or not. They will continue. Someone else will pick this up, which is the positive for Trump voters in the end.
Eric Schiffer and John Hart. We have to